Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to our very first flipped video. I'll always start with our I can statement. So today, our I can statement is that I can estimate numbers to the nearest 10. So that's what this video is going to be about. You are going to need paper and pencil. So make sure you have that ready. If you don't, pause the video, get your supplies, and then get ready to learn about estimation. Okay, so you heard me say we were going to learn to estimate. That might be a word that isn't familiar to you, or it might just kind of faintly sound like something you did in second grade. But I know that the word that you probably will remember is this one, and it's round. So all we're doing is rounding numbers to the nearest 10. Mathematicians, when we use our content vocabulary, we're going to use the word estimate. But I want you to know that estimate is a synonym for round. And we know that synonyms mean the same thing. So if you hear someone say estimate, you're going to think round, and vice versa. If you hear someone say round, you're going to think estimate. Okay, we've been working with number lines. So I want you to go ahead and draw a number line on your paper. And we are going to start down here with 20, and we're going to end with 30. So go ahead and write that on your number line. And then we're just going to count by one. So go ahead and number your number line. 22, 23, 24, 25, 7, 28, 29. I got pretty close. Okay. And I want you to plot the number 22 on your number line. So go ahead and place that on your number line where it should go. So I put it right here, 22. And then I want you to think, when you look at the number line, what is 22 closer to? Is it closer to 20 or is it closer to 30? Well, if I look, I can jump twice and I can get to 20. Otherwise, I'm going to have to jump a very long way to get to 30. So I hope you said that 22 is closer to 20. We would say that 22 estimates or is closer to 20. So if we were rounding 22, we would say that it is closer to 20 than it is to 30. Okay, I have drawn a new number line. You could probably plot the next number on the same number line. So I've drawn my number line again, and I'm using 20 and 30 because those are the numbers, the beginning and ending of my number line. And I want you to plot this time 27. You could do it on the same number line that you used last time if it didn't get too messy. So I plotted 27, and I want to ask you, is 27 closer to 20 or closer to 30? I hope that you said that 27 was closer to 30 than it was to 20. Well, then we would say that 27 estimates or rounds to 30. So on a number line, it's pretty easy to see which one it's closer to. However, drawing number lines and plotting points on number lines takes a lot of time. So I'm going to teach you a couple different strategies that might not take as much time. Okay, the next strategy we're going to learn is called the hill strategy. Some people call it the mountain strategy. So if you talked about this in second grade, it might have gone by one of those two names. So on your paper, in a blank space, will you draw a hill like this? And we are going to put 5 at the very top, and then 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then going this direction, we will have 4, 3, 2, and 1. So go ahead and draw those numbers. Okay, I want you to imagine this is a hill, and if I placed a number here if I placed a ball here on number 7, I want you to picture in your head, where would it roll? Would it roll down this direction and end up here? Or would it roll up over the hill and end up over here on this side? I hope that you know that if we placed a ball here, it would end up down here. What about if I placed a ball here at 4? Is it going to roll this direction, or is it going to roll up the hill and on the other side? It would be a pretty magic ball if it was able to roll up the hill, right? Okay, so if it was a 4, it would roll down here. Now, 5 is tricky, and we will talk about the rule for 5 in a minute, because really, at 5, it could roll either direction. But we'll talk about that rule in a minute. Okay, so you have your hill. So we are going to use it to round a number. So I'm going to pick this number, My number is 22. So will you write that number kind of up above your hill? And then will you put 2 lines next to your number? We're going to use what we call benchmark numbers. So benchmark numbers are the tens numbers that the number we're estimating comes between. So if we count by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, what 2 tens numbers does 22 come between? So think in your head. I hope that you said that 22 comes between 20 and 30. And I would have written them on top of the lines, but I didn't want to get messed up in there, so I wrote mine underneath the lines. These here are called benchmark numbers. So they are kind of like bookends that tell us that 22 comes between these 2 numbers on the number line. So we're going to take those benchmark numbers and we're going to write them down here at the bottom of our hill. So we're going to write our smaller number on the left, 20, and our larger number on the right, 30. Okay. Then we're going to take 22 and we're going to pretend that this number is 21, and this is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So if I was going to place 22 on my hill, it would be right here. And then I think about, okay, if 22 is a ball, is it going to roll down to 20? Or is it going to roll up the hill and down the other side to 30? So where would my ball roll? I hope that you said it would roll to 20. So we would say that 22 estimates or rounds to 20. Okay, go ahead and draw yourself another hill just like this one, and we'll do another problem. Okay, this time we're going to estimate 47. So the first thing you do is decide what those benchmark numbers are, and we do that by counting by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And we think, okay, where does 47 land between? So when I count 10, 20, 30, 40, 40 is my first benchmark number, and then the very next number, when I count by tens, is my other benchmark number, so 50. So 47 comes between 40 and 50. So I transfer those down here on my hill, 40 and 50. And then I go ahead and put my dot on 47. And I decide, is my ball going to roll this way to 50? Or is it going to roll up the hill and down the other side? Okay, so I know that when I place 47, that my ball is going to roll to the next number, which is 50. So we would say that 47 rounds to 50. I bet you can tell, we know that anything that's going to be here is going to roll to that larger number, and anything that is going to be here is going to roll to the smaller number. There is a rule that mathematicians have said about 5, because 5 is dead in the middle. So mathematicians had to say this is what will happen when you get to a 5. So if your ones digit is a 5, you're always going to roll to the larger number. So 5 and up rolls to the larger number, and 4 and smaller is going to roll to your smaller number. Okay, let's do one more example. Draw one more hill. Okay, I want you to try to do this one on your own. So the number is 54. So decide what your benchmark numbers are going to be and fill those in, and then transfer them down here to the bottom of your hill. Then go ahead and plot your dot and decide what you think it's going to round to. So you need to pause the video so that you can do that. And then when you're ready to check, you're just push play again, and you'll see whether you got it right or not. Okay, so we are ready to check. 54 comes between 50 and 60. So I write those numbers down here, 50 and 60. 54 is right here, and I know that 4 and smaller is going to be round to the smaller benchmark number. So 54 rounds to 50. Okay, I hope that you got that right. I know that you are clicking right along and that you understand the strategy, so we're ready to move on to a different strategy. Okay, so we have talked about the number line method, but we said that the cons to that method was that it's time consuming, that takes a long time. We learned the mountain method, which is probably faster than a number line, but you probably don't want to have to draw a mountain for every problem. It's good for when you're first learning how to do it, but it would get kind of tedious. So there are rules, mathematical rules for estimating numbers. So let's talk about those. We kind of talked about them a little bit when we showed the mountain. So you're going to look for rounding to the nearest 10, you're going to look at your ones digit, okay? Your ones digit. He is the boss, applesauce. He's the one that's going to tell you what to do with that tens digit. So this is what you're going to do first. You're going to look at that ones digit, okay? And then you're going to decide, is it 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9? And I'm still talking about that ones digit. If it is, we're going to move to the larger benchmark number, or we call it rounding up. If it is 4, 3, 2, 1, or even a 0, then we are going to round down to that smaller benchmark number. Okay, so let's put this in action. So I'm going to give you a number. Let's do 67. Okay, so I'm going to do 67. I'm still going to draw my lines because I want to know what those benchmark numbers are. So I'm going to think in my head. 67, my benchmark numbers are 60 and 70. Okay, and then here's what I do. I underline the bossy digit. So my ones place is the bossy digit. So underline that, and I circle what I'm rounding to. We're only rounding to the nearest 10, so there's only 2 digits. So you might not have to do this now, but this will help you when we round bigger numbers. So it's good practice to get into, good practice to do it this way. Okay, so we underline the bossy digit, which is a 7. It bosses the tens digit, tells it what to do. Says, listen here, buddy, this is what you're going to do. Okay, it is a 7. Our rule, right here, here's the 7. Our rule says we need to go up to the next benchmark number. So if I am moving my number up to the next benchmark number, it's going to round to 70. Okay, let's do a little more practice. We're almost done, guys. You're doing so well. Okay, I have given these problems for you to practice with, so go ahead and write these out. We are rounding to the ones digit, so you can go ahead and underline all those digits. They're your bossy digits. We're rounding to the nearest 10, so you might circle that. And then you need to go through and do your benchmark numbers and then follow your rule. I'm going to do one with you, and then I want you to do the other ones on your own. So we're going to start here with 28. Okay, I'm going to think, what are my benchmark numbers? 28 comes between 20 and 30. And then I'm going to look at my bossy digit, which is the ones place. This digit is an 8. And I look at, so my bossy digit is the 8. I look at my rule, and it says that I need to go to the larger benchmark number. So I know that 28 rounds to 30. Okay, you do the others on your own and then come back and check. Okay, here are the answers. I hope that you got them all right. The only one I want to really touch on is this one here, 45. 45 is that one that's at the top of the hill, and if it's 5 or larger, that bossy digit tells it that you go up to the next one. Okay, you guys, I am so proud of you. We've come to the end of this video. If you need any kind of help, you can re-watch parts of the video. You can ask mom and dad for help. And of course, we're going to do more work in the classroom. Okay, so make sure that you come with your whisk and make sure that your summary is really good and that it's written in complete sentences. Okay, at the end of every video, I share a joke with you. Okay, so we've come to that part. Okay, so here's my joke. What do dragons call knights in shining armor? I need a drum roll. They call it canned food. Okay, I'll see you later. Thanks for working hard.